you know that there is a generational wealth opportunity in your future. The pain that is coming to the multifamily space is large and growing. You know, there's this great tool called the 50-40-10 offered by Stephen Dow and Velocity Mortgage, aka 90% CLTV. We're going to have a conversation because I know there are people doing the work today that aren't seeing the return immediately. I want to tell you it's coming. Stephen, thanks for being here, man.
Oh, as always, always thankful to have the opportunity to join the conversation here. I get jealous throughout the week as I'm watching some of your videos. I can't wait for Thursday because then I get my turn.
There you go. There you go. We appreciate you. Well, do me a favor, get the marketing spiel out of the way so we don't get in trouble, and then we'll talk about the important thing.
Thank you again. Although I work very happily for Velocity Mortgage Capital, all the ideas and topics discussed on this channel that of my own. So let's get it going.
Yeah. So as you know, I did a keynote presentation. Shout out Pacific Northwest Action Summit was awesome, and the 50-40-10 was a tool that I gave away. Right. I highlighted, for them, and we've talked about it a bunch. But I want people to realize that now's the time to do the work. Right. I just had a conversation with Jonathan Twomley, who's a big syndicator, and he's like, the pain's coming. Right. We got a little bit extend and pretend going on. We
Right.
actually talked specifically about 5 to 40 unit buildings, right?
Okay.
Getting to know small banks that really have some pain, but also talking about older sellers who just want out. And I want people to realize, I know there are people trying to do the 50-40-10 today and the numbers aren't working, right? The 50% is at 9 or 10%. They're trying to get seconds at 2, 3, 4, whatever it is. But folks, as pressure builds and days on market extend, you're going to very quickly understand who wants to sell and who needs to sell. And
Oh
trust
yeah.
me when I say you want to buy from somebody who needs to sell. That is where opportunities come from. What do you think?
Oh yeah. The word motivated, I guess, is the right word.
Yeah.
I don't like to use the word desperate, I guess, in that sense. But no, the need to sell makes for a great opportunity for great deals. Because sometimes, yeah, timing is everything in life, and so making these offers as much as you can. The worst thing you say is no. So you might as well
Yeah.
take a shot, but you got to do some homework, maybe through pop stream, maybe know a
Yeah.
little
Prop
bit
stream.
about the
Yeah.
backstory, so then
Yeah.
you know what strategy to use to maybe negotiate.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that because that's exactly what I'm trying to get. I think more and more people are starting to believe that I was right. Right.
Right.
Multifamily, syndication, all of that led to stupid things. We repeated the mistakes, but okay. So, all right, Zuber, you're right. Who cares? Make me some money. All right, folks, I'm trying to make you some money. What I would tell people to do today is what I did last time. Start tracking multifamily properties in your markets that you like. Again, just like singles, watch days on market and then have conversations. What people don't realize is, at least in my market and probably most markets, there's only a handful of commercial brokers that handle 80% of the listings. Go meet them. They're not, if you're just a new investor, they're not going to give you the time of day. Go meet somebody on their team. Go have conversations. Ask intelligent questions. Get the backstory. Figure out the debt structure, prop stream, or whatever it happens to be. And, start tracking them. I mean, one of the properties we bought in the last cycle, we got for more than 50% off. Was listed at 1.44, 1.4. Why Stephen wasn't listed at 1.44? Because that's what the current owner paid for it last time. They wanted to get
Right.
out. The
Right.
property goes, and we ended up buying it for $700,000. Score. That stuff is coming, but
Oh yeah.
this stuff's not always on the MLS, right? That
No.
property was on the MLS for more than a year at 1.44. We
Hmm.
buy it for 700, and then it comes off the MLS.
It's
Right?
like a scavenger
Disrespect.
hunt.
Yeah, go do the work. It's like you're on
It's
a
literally
big
that.
beach and you have a
Hmm.
metal detector,
Yeah.
right? Scan the whole beach, people.
Yep. Yep. That would be a
Yeah.
funny T-shirt.
Yeah. But this is, you have given me, and by
Hmm.
happenstance all the followers of the channel, the
Yeah.
50-40-10. And you can, the 50-40-10 is so magical because you can figure out how to structure the entire deal, not just price. price and
Right.
terms, first and second, rates on the first and the second. And the beauty of what I want people to take from this is you can structure the deal so you can hold forever, right? The 50% is a 30-year fixed loan. It's not variable.
Right.
It's not adjusted, blah, blah, blah.
Right. Right.
It's so powerful, right?
I think so. I mean, again, it just depends on the circumstances and market rents are obviously very important as well. But if you can structure the financing in such a way, sometimes it'll still cash flow. You just got to structure it in the right way, but you got to figure that point out to see.
Yeah.
Main questions again. Do you need all the money from the sell the property, and if not, how much can you hold and how long, and kind of crunch the numbers from there and see what get in where you can fit in. But it's a great tool to have just in case if the right circumstances allow for you to be like, oh hey, let me pull that out. Yeah, we can take it down with this thing. So it's fun, man. It just takes more of a meaningful conversation with the decision maker on the seller side.
True.
And then figuring out all that stuff and then gathering the data on the market rents. And that's pretty much it. But when you come across the right situation, man, it's so fun because everybody wins.
Yeah.
Everybody wins.
Yeah. The 50-40-10 is amazing. I have a deep dive playlist on this channel. There's a couple of videos of us doing 90 minutes on this. So go watch those if you have questions. But the reason I think the 50-40-10 is so powerful and why I made it one of my giveaways at the event was creativity. And to your point, these are not one call closes. You're not going to do a 50-40-10 with one phone call or one email. You're going to have to go talk to them. You're going to have to get on the phone. You're going to have to take them to lunch. You're going to have to make them comfortable, right? A seller that's going to take back up to 40% is going to want to make sure they get paid back, is going to want to understand taxes, is going to want to understand what second position is, right? There's just lots of conversations. And what I tried to get across at the event was you got to practice. You got to practice. You got to understand the vocabulary, right? What is an installment loan? What is depreciation recapture? What is foreclosure? What is deed in lieu? What is all this stuff?
Got to level up.
Got to level up, people. Come on. Tell them, Stephen.
Well, I mean, that's just the nature of what you're trying to achieve. I mean, if you don't gather all the knowledge for yourself, you're going to allow other people to steer the ship. I mean, do you want to get in a car and just buckle up and go along for the ride, or do you want to take the wheel? You know what I mean? So yeah, exactly. I hope I make it there safely.
Let's see what happens. This has to be a good idea.
Yeah. I was gonna crack a joke that's kind of what people feel like getting into my car.
No. We're not going there. Not going there.
Anyway. But yeah, no.
Hilarious.
You got to level up. You got to gather that information because then you'll know what you're looking at and kind of recognize whether it's a deal or not without having to, is this a deal? Who should I call for the expertise? It's like, don't rely on other people to, make your fortune. You got to just do the work, man. Like your hat says.
Yeah. I really do believe the greatest generational wealth is right around the corner.
Coming.
This multifamily pain is nasty.
You got to get positioned though. Get your credit in place. Get your, your dry powder a little bit.
A little dry powder, yeah. The 50-40-10 is awesome because you only got 10%. 10%.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the other thing I want to tell people to level up is you got to do a little math. I'm sorry. You got to do a little math. And a lot of folks are
you saying that to an Asian guy that I got to do? I mean, I'm in the womb, like, doing calculus, dude. What are you talking about?
Never figured out that abacus, man. That abacus.
Yeah.
I don't get it. It's a bunch of freaking. I don't get it. Anyways, enough said. But again, do the math. I know a lot of folks are trying the 50-40-10 today, and it's not quite working. You should be able to back into a number that will. Maybe you're trying to take something down at $1 million, and a 9.5% first and a 2% second doesn't make it work. Well, you know what? You already know the structure, 50% here, 40%. What number would work?
Right.
Maybe it's 875. Maybe it's 800. And as days on market grows, and as the don't want versus the need.
Yep.
Want to sell versus need. That's what he tried to say. You're going to find out he needs to sell, and if nobody else is out there, they're going to counter 825. And you'll find out where the room is. So it's the time is coming.
Yeah, and again, I think just with a little bit of homework, when I see on like Zillow a listing, sometimes you'll see the listing, history, and you can see what's going on. Like they bought it for X amount, they maybe put some money to try to like triple their money, and like with obscenely, delusions of grandeur, and then now slowly but surely nobody's biting. Okay, let me lower the price a little bit. Let me lower the price. Let me try to rent it. Nobody's biting there.
Yeah.
Let me try to throw it back on the listing again, right? And still no movement. And they're like, dude, you're not being reasonable. So days on market longer, desperation starts to sink in because now they're bleeding. You know what I mean? So that's when you can come in with those really, really good offers. In a sense, for you as a buyer.
Yeah. Well, I've often said there's a lot of pain coming, but where there's great pain, there's great opportunity.
100%. So
there's a lot coming. So at the end of the day, folks, the 50-40-10 is the best tool. The most flexible tool is amazing. You need to learn about it. If somebody wanted to reach out and run a deal by you, how do they do that?
Again, SDAO at velocitymortgage.com. As far as my email address, in the subject line, please put the acronym ORAAT to make it past the firewall. Body of the email, maybe brief description what you're looking for. Property address would be very helpful. At least city and state to make sure I lend there. Your mid FICO score and maybe best phone number to reach you at. Typically 24, 48 hours. I'll be in touch.
You got it, man. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. Have an amazing week.
You too, buddy.